When you don't know what to do, you do what you know. But when you know better, you do better. Hi, I'm HC, and watching this video until the end will help you understand yourself deeper than you understand it now. Stay tuned. No matter how much we believe that we know, our perspectives are but a very small fraction of what reality really presents itself to be. Therefore, knowing how to change your perspective can be essential to helping you experience more of what life has to offer. To change your perspective could mean learning to see the positives in what you once believed to be negative, or becoming aware of the true nature of an individual or situation so that you are able to make more grounded decisions on your journey forward. Always remember, if your mind is too rigid, you are likely to repeat the same mistakes and mishaps over and over again, perpetually. And this is why knowing how to change your perspective is such an important factor on the journey of you becoming your best you. So, without further ado, here are the steps on how to change your perspective. Step 1. Be curious. When you are curious, you ask questions, and you therefore are able to discover and reinterpret. In this context, being curious implies keeping your mind open to different avenues of information. This curiosity encourages readiness for new experiences, which may consequently help to shift your perception. It is important to note that because we are creatures of habit, the older we get, the more rigid our minds tend to become, and we therefore start to feel like we are sure about most of the things that we can fathom. By staying curious, you are opening yourself to the possibility of new interpretation of the things you thought you already understood. Think of yourself as a child, continuously discovering things. The more you explore and discover, is the more things are added to your experiences. And with more experience, you become better equipped to navigate through life. In contrast, imagine being that same child, but feeling and acting as though you already grasped and understood life at that tender young age. You would likely be stuck in an underdeveloped interpretation of the world, a very limited interpretation, which, at best, would only seldom help your path long term. Step 2. Be humble. Humility will help you accept that there is always something to be appreciative of at any moment on your journey through life. Being humble is an important part of changing your perspective, because humility is accepting that no matter how sure you are, there may still be valid reasons for another perspective, and that another person's perspective is not invalid simply because it does not align with your own. Humility understands that life is always teaching, and on the journey to becoming the best version of you, you are always a student of life. Being humble will help dramatically with changing your perspective, because a humble person is able to listen and observe. Therefore, they are able to practice, adopt, and learn. Humility can thus help you adopt a perspective that was foreign to you, because instead of defending why you feel you are right, you are listening and learning why the other person believes that they are right. This exposure to new information will help dramatically in shaping and changing your perspective. As said by the infamous entrepreneurs at Earn Your Leisure, when you don't know what to do, you do what you know. But when you know better, you do better. Step 3. Be vulnerable. In this context, vulnerability is to open yourself up to something different. We have the tendency to disregard what we don't understand, and in some cases, even try to fight against it. This encourages a defensive attitude and demeanor towards something that is quite possibly being brought to you harmlessly. However, it is important to acknowledge that if you present yourself with your defenses up, it encourages doubt from the other person. For example, let's say you went to meet your cousins from the other side of town, whom, although you've heard about for years, have never seen and interacted with on a personal level. If you went over to their place with your defenses up, assuming that they were terrible people, the relationship would be filled with prejudices and would probably not develop past that point. However, if you went over with an open mind, ready to understand their way of living and the cultural differences that they could teach you, it would be more than likely to encourage a great relationship. Thus, open yourself up, be vulnerable, and accept change. Step 4. Know yourself. To know yourself in this context is to remain grounded despite the turbulences that may be going on around you. It is to be mindful and aware that no matter what changes around you, you will still be you. This mindfulness is necessary in knowing how to change your perspective because we often erroneously tie our identities to the circumstances that we go through and to the things that we think and believe. Doing so strips us of the ability to see things in an objective manner. Knowing yourself is to accept that you are the creator of your thoughts and your beliefs. Therefore, they are subject to you. You are not subject to them. Therefore, a change of perspective cannot take away from who you are if it is truly who you are. It is like an artist creating a drawing and then falling in love with the drawing and losing all confidence to create again because the artist believes that that is the best drawing. In this case, it is important for the artist to understand and accept that the creation is a subject to the creator and not the other way around. To know yourself is to accept this concept and be open to whatever changes that life may bring your way. As said by New Zealand author Peter McIntyre, confidence doesn't come from always being right, but from not being afraid to be wrong. Know yourself and continue to explore. Step 5. Abandon fear. When we are fearful, we are recluse. Abandoning fear is important to changing your perspective because when your perspectives are based on fear, they only represent a small fraction of what they could actually be. To abandon fear is to accept that although danger may be real, fear is always based on illusion and lack of information. It should therefore be dismissed. For example, let's say you're afraid of driving. At first, turning on the indicator at the right time, pressing the gas, and getting the right speed and looking in your rear view may appear to be complicated and nerve-wracking at first. But the more you develop your skill through experience, the more it becomes second nature, and the less scary it becomes. This is similar to a new perspective that you are being introduced to. At first, it may be scary, but give yourself the opportunity to discover what is being presented in order to make the best judgment possible. Abandon fear and begin to live today. So that's it, Howell family. Those are the 5 steps on how to change your perspective and to start moving forward today. Thank you for watching this video until the end. You are appreciated. Post a comment below to let people know how changing your perspective has helped you on your journey. Like and share this video, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'll see you here next time on Howell Consultations, the how-to being true to you.